Now, it's going to seem crazy on this channel to talk about this, but today I want to talk about the 3 reasons why you shouldn't reinvent yourself. How's it going, Reinventors? I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to take your own reinventing journey so that you can live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I post twice a week, and 75% of you have never subscribed to this channel, so I invite you to subscribe now. Whether you are a subscriber or not, I invite you to watch this video all the way to the end. Not only does this help me out in terms of my algorithm and YouTube, but also you'll get to see my latest attempt in cutting my own hair. In the meantime, I want to talk about the 3 reasons why you should not reinvent yourself. The first reason why you should not reinvent yourself is if you are in danger of hurting yourself or someone else. I'm outside and I'm getting nature falling down on me. And I say that to say that when I have counseled people before and they've said, are you going to tell anybody about this? What I usually say is the only reason why I would tell somebody is if you are in danger of hurting yourself or others, if you're going to harm yourself or others. And it's sort of ironic in a way because the reason I heard about reinventing and the reason I started my own reinventing journey was because I went to a suicide prevention workshop. And the person who started his own reinventing journey did so because he had had a failed suicide attempt. And when that happened, he realized he really needed to make some major changes in his life. However, it was the attempt first and then the decision to make some reinventing changes. So if you feel suicidal, if you've contemplating taking your own life, I have here on the screen suicide prevention hotline, as well as a phone number and an email, or not email, I guess, is it an email address or a web address? Please get help immediately. Just stop this video and go to one of these and get the help that you need. If you feel like you're going to harm yourself or others, you first need to get the help that you need. Forget reinventing yourself, but focus on yourself first. The second reason why you should not reinvent yourself is if you are not in a good spot to reinvent yourself. Now, that's kind of weird to say that, but because we are right now in the middle of a pandemic, there's probably some things going on that mean you need to take care of those things rather than reinvent yourself. Maybe you have somebody in your family who's ill, whether with COVID or some other disease. Maybe you have a situation, economic situation, where you are being forced to continue in a job that you know is dead end, or you know it's not going to go anywhere, and you know you need to get out of it, but you've got to have that income right now. So that's what you need to focus on. It's that Maslow pyramid again. Focus first on what you need to do to take care of yourself and your loved ones, those who are dependent upon you. Perhaps you have an elderly relative who's living with you right now, and you need to focus on that rather than reinventing yourself. Also, if you are in a state where you are trying to recover from some sort of addiction, whether narcotics, alcohol, overeating, no matter what it is, you need to focus on that first and take one day at a time. Work your steps, go to the meetings, talk to your sponsor. If you do that, you actually will be reinventing yourself, but you will also be taking care of yourself first. It's the whole, I'm sorry about this, my hair all of a sudden wants to get in my face. It's the whole idea of when you're on a plane and they say if the oxygen masks come down from the ceiling, put yours on first before you help your neighbors. And so that's kind of the idea here, is to make sure you've got your basics covered before you worry about making major changes in your life. And as I said, if you are recovering from sort of addiction, if you go through the things you need to, take the steps, go to the meetings, talk to your sponsor, all of those things, you will find yourself changing in ways that you even did not expect. And you'll probably reinvent yourself in some ways that would be considered reinventing yourself. The third reason for not reinventing yourself is one that I had really never thought about, and I guess I think it was Julia Christiana Counseling Julia Christina I think it was Julia Christina Counseling who made me think about this. I think that when we want to reinvent ourselves, sometimes it's not a matter of making major changes in our lives as much as we are unhappy with ourselves. We want to change ourselves, change our personality, change who we are. And at some level, reinventing is about that. But at another level, a deeper level, you really cannot change the core of who you are. And the danger in thinking, oh, I'm going to reinvent myself and be somebody different, is that you will never find a time where you are satisfied or happy with who you are. You have got to work on that first, and that kind of self-love, which is kind of this, I think I talked about in one of my recent videos, is sort of things that's talked about a lot. But you've got to start there first. You have got to accept yourself the way you are. Be proud of who you are. Be happy with who you are before you can even think about reinventing yourself. Because reinventing is not going to take away the core you. It may change some things you do or your surroundings or all those kinds of things. But it's not going to really get to the core of who you are in terms of, I guess, your major personality traits and your major things. I mean, there are things that are going to improve. You're going to learn new skills. I'm not saying that. But reinventing is not, morphing into some completely different person entirely, okay? That is a reason not to reinvent yourself. If you're trying so hard to get rid of everything about you, that's just not going to happen. And that's not a good reason to reinvent yourself. I hope this video has been helpful for you in terms of figuring out if you need to reinvent yourself or not. I have a couple of videos I've done in the past. I'll have links in the description below if you want to check those out. Now, if you're on your phone or your iPad, I always said, well, there's no descriptions here. There's a tiny, tiny little arrow, and I'm drawing it on the screen. It's down here. If you click on that, it opens up the description. Hey, I learned that recently, and that will where you can find these links that I'm talking about. In the meantime, if you want to see my hair, so I'm going to move the camera this way, and I don't know if I'll be able to show you my hair or not. Well, if you can see it, hopefully so. Hope you can see that. I had a couple days ago, I got the scissors out, and I had this bit that was hanging down below my hair, and I wanted to cut it away. Many of you know that my dad and stepmother are living in a retirement village in Florida, and they had their hairdresser there got COVID-19 and gave it to several residents. So I'm very, very, very cautious about getting my hair cut. I've not gotten my hair cut since February. And I have to say kudos to my hairstylist, because my hair has looked fairly decent this whole time. But I did have that part in the back where it had been really, really short, and when it was growing out, it was just driving me nuts. So I had to trim that up a bit. Once my hair out here grows, it won't be so hard to take care of. And I know, hopefully it doesn't look like I just took a bowl and put it on my head. It probably looks really bad. I actually have not looked at it, so this will be my first view of my hair as well. Whether it's whether or not you should reinvent yourself or how you should not cut your hair. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe, watch all the way to the end, and give me a thumbs up. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.